So, in today's speed trap, the first thing we'd like to hit is because of all these COVID-19 shutdowns in businesses, the car industry has been affected quite a bit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, honestly, it really has. I did not expect in my short little lifespan that we would see something like a virus, almost like that game, that app, like
Yeah.
shut down the world, honestly. And beyond just the how like unfortunate events that have taken place surrounding the virus, as a car lover, one of the worst things has have been having to see all these car companies just kind of shut down. The auto industry is definitely
hmm
going to take a hit, but I think have been some pros and cons to that as well.
Yeah, but yeah, it has been upsetting. The delays in a lot of the car reveals. The Ford Bronco is going to be released soon, and that's been postponed. The Hummer reveal has been postponed too, and many people are excited about the electric Hummer. And then all the F1 races and car racing has also been shut down. Like IndyCar got completely postponed. F1 is still being postponed. We still don't know when that's going
So
to start.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. But luckily, some car companies are finding their ways to do things nowadays. Ford Bronco is still trying to. Still trying to push for that reveal, and some people are doing reveals online, which has been great. Using modern technology to
Yeah.
help address the concerns.
I agree. It definitely has been really cool to kind of see the auto industry, which has typically been like super old school in a lot of the ways they do things,
Mhm.
and kind of seeing them adapt and conform with the different marketing strategies. Even like dealerships being like, oh, you can buy cars a lot more remotely now. Like, Carvana and
Exactly.
things have been around, but I saw like Lincoln had set up a really like fancy digital buying experience
Oh
where the
yeah,
dealer
yeah.
would actually like take you around the car, like FaceTiming you,
Mhm.
sharing features and things like that. And I think, you do lose a little bit of aspects, right? Like you don't get to go on a test drive if you're
Yeah,
virtually
yeah.
buying a car. And I get that. That's really important. It definitely is. But for a lot of like typical buyers, they spend more of their time checking out the car and its features.
Mhm.
So if you're still having the opportunity to do that, that's definitely really good for the companies. It has been really good to see, like you mentioned, like Ford trying to keep up and not letting this kind of thing shut them down.
Mhm.
Another cool thing with the COVID-19 pandemic that I've actually really respected is that it has shown the impact of cars and the car industry as a whole
For sure.
on the world, right? You're seeing companies like GM, Ford, Tesla making ventilators,
Oh yeah, yeah.
right? That's huge. It's like, okay, yeah, cars are really cool. Sometimes they cost a lot of money, and a lot of people see them as like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, it's a point A to B transportation. That's it. That's all I need. But there's so much more than that, and I think even beyond just the culture and the world of people that are passionate about
Yeah.
cars, we're seeing a lot of benefits that the car industry provides outside of the jobs and the factories and things.
Oh
Now
yeah,
they're
yeah.
helping regular people in hospitals with their production.
All over the world. Yeah. And then it's also been really interesting seeing the creative things they're doing. Like Tesla, when they were creating their ventilator, they used Model 3 car parts and the Model 3 screen
That was
and the
cool.
Model 3 motors just to help create the ventilator, which has been really cool to see the creativity in times like this when resources are pretty limited.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now we're going to move on to the inline four Supra, which some of you guys may know, but the Toyota Supra car from back in the 90s is when it was most popular. They brought it back recently for the 2020 model year, and initially it was just only an inline six model. And I mean, I was fine with the car, but a lot of people were upset because they did a big partnership with BMW, where
Yeah.
essentially the car is BMW on the inside and the engine is also from BMW. But they just released a new inline four version, which is more Toyota centric, and it does bring back the whole debate about bringing back some of these newer cars from back in the '90s and early 2000s
Hmm.
and seeing them in this new market.
So like I have seen a lot of purists and people that were a big fan of the old Fast and Furious style Supra, complaining about how wow, this doesn't really pay homage to the original Supra at all. It's not as tuner friendly, things like that. I was actually looking at a teardown of the car, and you're right. Like one of the things was they were pulling out random
Hmm
parts of the car, and
Yeah.
they had like BMW logos on it, and like I get that, that's fair, but there have been some parts of the car that are kind of built and ready to be tuned. But I think they did a reasonable job with the Supra,
Yeah.
where, from far away into the layman, it is Toyota.
hmm
From under the hood, a lot of it is BMW. I think, speaking towards the inline four, that would be great. I know a lot of car purists are out there and they're saying, like, first we lost the V12, we're starting to lose the V10, we're losing the V8 really fast, everyone's going to the twin turbo V6.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, even look at the Ford GT, for example. It's like
Yeah. The
EcoBoost. Like,
EcoBoost
are you kidding
V6.
me? It's a sports car EcoBoost, really.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing these four cylinders pumping out a lot more horsepower than they did
Oh
20
yeah,
years
yeah,
ago.
yeah. Especially the Mercedes CLA AMG, the new version. I think what's 415 horsepower
Yeah.
out of a turbocharged inline four,
Absolutely.
and that's truly amazing. Out of any, yeah, I didn't think I'd ever see that out of an inline four for sure.
Right, so we're taking these, really compact engines, which the big benefit there is that they're lighter,
Mhm.
right? Pushing them, closer towards the main lower center of gravity towards the middle of the car.
Yeah.
And then after that, they're still packing a punch. 415 horsepower. That's a 2002 Aston Martin V8.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
it's better
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
exactly.
And they're still cranking out insane 0 to 60 times as well because the lightness definitely helps.
Yeah, that's a Frankenstein, really, half BMW, half Toyota. And, it'll do the job. It packs a punch. I'm sure it's great on the track. And a regular, car person, a car enthusiast will love it.
Yeah.
But don't expect a Supra. If you want a Supra, buy the original, get a manual. You'll love it.
So another big news from this week: the Cybertruck, a car with a lot of controversy. Let me just pull up a picture of the Cybertruck real quick so everyone can get a gist of what we're talking about here. It was definitely nothing we've seen before for sure. It doesn't really look like a truck. It looks like a box and a triangle on top of each other. But yeah, it's been a pretty polarizing car.
Yeah, geometrically, it seems like they sent the Tesla designers back to, high school, middle school,
Yeah.
said, take geometry, and they were like, scalene triangle.
Like they did some interesting things with this front headlight here, the back headlight, the rear tail being like covered, and then the top light as well. They've done some interesting things with that
Right.
design.
And, here's the thing with Tesla. They are a very polarizing company. They always have been.
Yeah.
From the Roadster all the way through to now the Cybertruck. The company has always tried to change the norms in the industry.
So anyways, he tweeted that for the new Cybertruck, they're gonna allow you to wrap it in whatever you want, and most likely by saying this, he's alluded to the fact that Tesla themselves will wrap the car in whatever like design, color, like fashion that you want it to be wrapped. If you like when you pre-order the car,
See, that would be wild.
no
First of
car
all-
company has done this before.
Right.
so-
Like, first of all, like, no one has done that.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, like, I hope, like, can you censor things? Like, can you imagine the kind of stuff
people are
would
gonna
be
come up with some
asking?
really weird stuff, and I hope they like if they do it. I assume they'd have requirements, but it does help like adhere to the design of the car because like not many people are too great with the design. People that like have pre-ordered it, some of them are all for it, but some of them are like it's good for the feature. The design's weird, but I'll adjust. But the wrap definitely makes up for it.
Yeah, but people are like, oh, it's super Blade Runner, or like, oh, it's super futuristic, Mars rover, Moon rover.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
then other people are like, that's a box on wheels. What am I looking at? It looks like a doorstop. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it-
It's polarizing, but the benefit is we know that Tesla has been plagued with manufacturing problems for a long time.
yeah,
Right. The Model 3 catastrophe was terrible for them. They had so many pre-orders, all the hype was there, and then they just absolutely struggled to put out cars with the numbers that they wanted
Yeah.
to. Cybertruck then, because of this design, is that it's very easy to manufacture.
oh yeah, super easy.
Right? So you're just adding it through folding processes because it'll break the stamping machine because it's 30 times cold rolled
Yeah,
stainless
yeah.
steel. And so as a result of that, it's faster to manufacture, it's easier. If you're not painting it, one of the problems with stainless steel typically is that when you paint, it's very expensive, it's very hard to put a lot of coats, get it to stick.
Yeah,
The beauty here is if you're wrapping it, okay, problem solved. Another benefit is if you're wrapping it, we're also in a better place in terms of damage and paint chips and everything like that. Wraps are really easy to repair. You can change it as often as you want.
yeah.
You're gonna have to pay for it, but you can change
But
it.
yeah, it's easy to change and easy to go back to what you had before for sure. And
Yeah.
that's one of the nicer things that people like about wrapping their cars. So if a company offered it, that'd be pretty special.
One thing that I'd like to point out, from an engineering perspective, is the back end design of the truck. A lot of people are like, why is it like that? Most trucks are a cab in the front, right, for people, and then a flat bed in the back. Kind of cuts straight down from the back end and then goes all the way flat till the
Yeah.
end of the truck. These sail pillars on the back, these triangular pillars that kind of give the truck that weird wedge shape, especially in the back, are actually reinforcing the whole back end to be able to tow that much power.
That's
That much
pretty,
weight.
pretty impressive for design.
Right.
Yeah.
And so a double benefit of that, well, they were like, well, we're going to have to add these sail pillars and kind of they made that straight line continuous design.
Yeah.
One, now it can handle a lot more pull,
Oh,
right,
yeah,
a lot
for
more
sure.
weight.
Yeah.
But also, these sail pillars actually open. And there's actually storage
More
in there. You can
storage.
put shovels, rakes, whatever, that kind of thing in there.
Which is super convenient for a truck. I mean, you want storage space, and yeah, this truck definitely, because it's electric, there's just so much more open space. You have a lot of storage area.
I'm very excited to see how this truck comes out. I'm
Yeah.
very excited to, test drive it, give it a go when it does come out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely something that we're going to want to keep following. So it's expected to come out in late 2021, right?
Yeah. Now we're gonna move into hot.